Zerzura Codex, The Serpent's Kiss. The antique shop became a whirlwind of motion. Eris flung the heavy astrolabe, sending a cascade of porcelain figures crashing down and momentarily distracting one of the assailants. Elara, with surprising agility, lunged forward, the letter opener a silver blur in the dim light, creating an opening for their escape through the shop's back door. They burst out into a narrow, rain-slicked alley, the sounds of pursuit echoing behind them. "This way," Elara hissed, pulling Eris towards a rusted fire escape. As they scrambled up the cold, wet metal, they could see the two figures emerging from the alley below, their faces still maddeningly obscured by the shadows and the storm. Their flight led them to the city's old maritime district, a labyrinth of warehouses and fog-shrouded docks. Elara led them to a nondescript door, marked only with a faded carving of a coiled serpent. "An old friend," she explained, her breath coming in ragged gasps. "He deals in secrets." The door opened to reveal a man who seemed as ancient as the artifacts that filled his workshop. He was Kale, a cartographer and a keeper of forgotten lore. His eyes, the color of faded parchment, widened as he saw the codex. "The Serpent's Kiss," he breathed, his voice a dry rustle. "I thought it was a myth." Kale revealed that the codex was more than a map. It was a celestial chart. The symbols corresponded to a rare alignment of stars that occurred only once every century. "The sunstone can only be revealed when the stars kiss the serpent," he explained, his long, bony fingers tracing the constellations on the page. Their respite was short-lived. A sharp rap on the door sent a jolt of fear through the room. Kale peered through a small peephole, his face turning grim. "The Order," he whispered. "They have a long reach." He led them to a hidden passage behind a tapestry depicting a kraken devouring a ship. The passage led them to the city's ancient subterranean canals. As they navigated the dark, echoing waterways in a small, flat-bottomed boat, Kale explained the Order's origins. They were descendants of a rogue faction of Zerzura's guardians, who believed the Sunstone's power should be wielded, not hidden. Kale guided them to a secluded cove where a small, seaworthy vessel was moored. "The stars will align in 3 days," he told them, handing Eris a small, intricately carved wooden bird. "This will guide you. Seek the Isle of Whispers." He looked at them, his ancient eyes filled with a strange mixture of hope and sorrow. "The fate of Zerzura is in your hands." As their boat cut through the dark, choppy waters, Eris and Elara looked back at the receding lights of the city. The sense of being hunted was a cold knot in Eris's stomach. He looked at Elara, her face resolute in the moonlight, and felt a surge of gratitude. He was no longer alone in his obsession. Suddenly, the carved bird in Eris's hand began to glow with a soft, ethereal light. It tugged in his palm, its beak pointing towards a dark, ominous shape on the horizon, a jagged, mist-shrouded island that seemed to absorb the moonlight. The Isle of Whispers. But as they drew closer, they saw it wasn't deserted. A single, bright light shone from a tower on the island's highest peak, a beacon in the darkness. They were expected.